Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. In today's pick a card reading, I am asking Spirit, what do I need to do to find happiness? To speak to Spirit, I've broken the message into 3 readings. Pile number 1 is the Sun of Life card with the flower charm. Pile number 2 is the 10 of Cups card. Oops. And pile number 3 is the Tower card. Pile number 1 has the flower charm. Pile number 2 has the polka dotted mushroom charm. And pile number 3 has the soda charm. So take a couple minutes and look at the decks or the cards and see if any of these resonate with you. If they do, please, you can forward to the appropriate spot in the timestamps in the description, or if the chapters are working correctly, which I'm still working on figuring out, you can just forward in the chapter in the timeline. So let's take a second and take a slow, deep breath. Okay, and let's settle into this moment, because there might be things I'm going to say to you today that you're not going to love, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to help you have a happier life and not necessarily pacify you. So I'm going to be honest in what I see. So make sure you steel yourself. If you're not the kind of person that wants to hear honest information, if you just want to hear happy information, which of course I love giving happy information, but sometimes you can't always have your cake. Sometimes you got to eat broccoli. So today is a broccoli eating day. I know it's a vile weed, but sometimes you have to eat your broccoli. So today we're going to eat our broccoli. So if you're ready, if you see these cards and any of them resonate with you, please go forward to that reading, and I will see you in that reading. Hello, pile number 1. I'm so happy to have you here. You have chosen the card, the Sun of Life. It looks like in the little flower charm. What I can tell you from just looking at it, this person their eyes are blocked. And I don't know if it's supposed to be that the sun has blocked their eyes, but their eyes are blocked. And so I would say that there is something, if the message is, what do we need to do to find happiness? Whatever it is, it seems like you have been blinded to it. So this is probably going to be a little more difficult reading, maybe, because it's something you're not even seeing. We'll get started by pulling a oracle card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I'm going to pull this one. A change in the wind. So yeah, I think if you clicked on this, then you are looking for a change. Maybe your life isn't so peachy keen. I can tell you what I know about zebras. Zebras, they do not travel in packs like elephants and lions. They are solitary creatures. They'll be in a group, but they don't have a pack. It's not like wolves or whatever. Zebras can be very temperamental, and perhaps they don't change easily. So maybe you are a bit stubborn, since we had the zebra card here. Maybe you're a bit stubborn and you don't change easily, but you do want to change. Let's see what else we get here. But the zebra is carrying this beautiful chapel on its back. It's not just some simple thing. It's just I don't know I forget what you call it. I'm going to call it the top of a chapel. That's the way I'm seeing it. So it's carrying this beautiful item on its back. But it is a solitary creature. So I don't know if that resonates with you. All right. Today we're just going with your standard Rider-Waite card. So we have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups. We have the Tower and the Moon card. And then we've got the 3 of Wands. So the first thing I want to say is the 3 of Wands card here. We've talked about how you're a solitary individual, carrying probably a lot on your back. And here you are with the Three of Wands, ready to set out on some, you're at least pondering the fact that like your eyes are closed, you're not really seeing where you need to go, but there's a wind of change coming. And forgive my dog, there's a wind of change coming, and here you are, you're reflecting, you're standing there looking out, and you know that there's a change coming. You know that something has to change, and you've been working at it, you've been cultivating, but you're still blind to it. But you are cultivating. And I know in my spiritual progression, there's been a lot of 3 steps forward, 4 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. There's been a lot of that. So I think you probably know the wind of change is coming. And so you've been cultivating a change, but you don't yet know what that is. And so, of course, that's why you're here. I do see you have the King here, and the King of Cups. The Cups is like a more emotional king. He's not, I was going to say he's not your Henry VIII, but actually, in my opinion, Henry VIII was a very emotional individual. That is why he did all the things that he did. And I've actually been watching some videos on Henry VIII lately. So perhaps, I don't want to say I want to say that you're probably have been very emotional lately. Or you've been seeing the writing on the wall that like you need to, like you have all these waves and you're feeling all these emotions and you're not really sure what's happening, because here you are, this light in your heart. So I think that you have been starting to realize you've been having more emotions welling up and more emotions welling up, and thus you think, because the Tower card is like a doom card, like you see a doom ahead of you. And I would say if you're feeling really emotional right now, please do not shut that out. That is, you'll hear that a lot on my channel about the importance of feeling your emotions, especially in your spiritual growth. It's number one foundational besides a relationship with God or Goddess or whoever you believe in as your creator. But that is that is a tenet of my spiritual progress and betterment of my life, has been to feel my emotions. So I think maybe you've been starting to look at feeling your emotions, feeling some, at least tinges of feelings in here in this heart. And then you have the King, which is all about emotion. And then you have the Tower card. No, I can't do that. I'm going to stay in the dark. Because the Moon card indicates the darkness, really. It's really a card about sneaking around or something behind your back. But I think you just want to stay in the dark. And so I think what the Spirit is telling you, and we'll draw some more cards, but I think what Spirit is telling you here is it's time. You've been looking at it. You've been tiptoeing into the area of feeling your emotions. And now that, and so you're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm just going to stay in the dark. But by staying in the dark, you're not healing anything. So it's very important in your spiritual progression and your life's happiness, because your life's happiness completely predicated on how you live your life and the love that you give to people. And if you have bottled emotions, you're going to be more angry and unhappy, maybe depressed. Bottled emotions, depression is caused by bottled emotions. So, in my opinion, and I can tell you, having gone through massive amounts of depression, being on Zoloft for half of my life, and getting off of it when I started feeling my emotions. So, I can tell you the power, I can personally tell you the power of feeling your emotions. So, I think what you need to do, what do I need to do to find happiness, is to stop. If you're starting to feel emotions, don't be afraid. Don't stop it. People think they'll go crazy. No, what causes you to go crazy is not feeling your emotions. It's blocking your emotions. It's the opposite of what people think. Feeling your emotions, you feel it, you face it, you sit in agony for a couple hours, or if it's a really deep emotion, Could be way longer than that. You have to process it over and over again, but it will eventually go away. So hiding is not going to help. So let's see. Let's see if we have any additional. That could be the message. If you're starting to feel your emotions, starting to feel a little ding of change in the wind, of wanting to maybe be more loving and more emotional, maybe this is the time. Maybe that is the message. Let's see if we've got anything else. Yeah, the Nine of Pentacles. She's happy. She's successful. She's wearing a beautiful dress. She does not look stressed. She's got her now. She doesn't look like she might. She looks pretty fierce, but if your path to happiness relies in not staying in the dark. Don't stay in the dark. Yeah, Temperance, peace, and the Lover's card. I've gotten the Lover's card so much lately. If you've watched any of my other videos, it's been in, I think, every single reading. And just look at this. If you stop, I do mine, like, because everything in my life I have like everything to be structured. Here you are, maybe feeling your emotions, blocking out, don't want to feel your emotions. But when you look at the horizon and you can see in the horizon, you're standing there, you're contemplating, you're thinking, and you do not allow yourself to be tied up anymore like this. You can get past this. There's happiness to be found. Happiness, patience, love, contentment. To me, this is like contentment. This is the ultimate card of contentment. So I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background. Sorry, this is my teenage daughter being very loud. But anyway, I think that's the end of the message. There's nothing more important than, well, I should say nothing. There's not a lot more important than feeling your emotions for a happy life. So I think we've gotten there. So I'm going to end it. And I hope that's helpful to you. I know it's contradictory to what a lot of people believe. They believe you should suppress all your emotions. But suppressing your emotions, it's like whack-a-mole. They're going to pop up somewhere else. It's going to pop up in anger, depression. And those things will help you see where your unhappiness is. Something pops up, makes you angry. Look at it and say, oh, why is that making me angry? I must have some blocked emotion regarding that. So yeah, I think that's it. And so thank you for spending this time with me. It was truly a pleasure and a privilege to share this message from Spirit to you. So take good care and have a fantastic day. Hello, pile number 2. Thank you so much for being here and joining me in this message from Spirit. We picked a good card to start out with, the 10 of Cups. To me, it's the happy family card. So maybe that is what you're longing for, or maybe you always longed for the happy family, but it didn't work out, and that's what you are worried. What do I need to do to find happiness? Maybe you're longing for the happy family, or maybe you already have a family and it's overwhelming you. I don't know. So the lighting is not so great. I'll move it. I'll move it here. Okay. And with my little mushroom. All right. So let's draw a oracle card as a clarifier. And let's see. Treasure Island. Okay, you've got a little turtle and he has a treasure on his back. So to me, I picture Spirit, here's this treasure, and then look, here they are with their hands out. Here you go. Here's this treasure. So I don't know if you're hoping for treasure, or maybe the information I'm about to give you is a treasure. That makes me laugh. So, okay, let's keep it going. Let me draw some. There's just a regular old Rider-Waite deck today. We'll start with those 4. Got the Magician. We've got the 9 of Pentacles, which we had in the first reading. So if you had any desire to watch the first reading, you might want to check that out. We've got the 6 of Cups. And we've got the King of Wands. So let's see here. Let's see what Madame Ruby sees. My name's not Ruby. That's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, if anyone's ever seen that. I just love that line. Let's see. Okay. The card with the most power here, I would say, is the Magician card. It's probably vibrating the most energy out of all the other cards. So the Magician card it's the second card. It's card number 1, but really it's the second card because the Fool card is first. So you're at the beginning of this story. Someone powerful, someone smart, wise. And then you've got the King of Wands over here. The King of Wands is going to be a man with, he's like your charismatic leader. He's kind of guy that you just automatically. So I'm noticing you have the 2 people here. The 2 people here. So I think that you are looking for a happy family. I think that's what you think is going to bring you joy. Or maybe you don't, maybe you need to realize that's what it is. You need to realize that what's going to bring you joy is not gifts. It's not wealth. Your ultimate treasure is the treasure of family, the treasure of strength. You have these 2 people. They're very different. You have this, it's like a strong couple, like this strong couple. 2 people. The foundation of strength is these 2 people. And they're symbiotic. This person is more in their head. They're making potions and they're raising their rod up, trying to get lightning to strike their little rod. And they're in their mind a lot. And then they've partnered with this King of Wands who is also strong and powerful, but in a different way. They're very charismatic, and you see all the little lizards come up to them, and they probably are petting the lizards. And so you have 2 strong people that are creating the foundation to this happy family. And so that is your treasure. The family is the treasure and the strong foundation. There's 2 people. What's such a treasure what could be a treasure in your life is a strong relationship. Not money, not success, not gifts. This strong foundation and a strong, happy life. And I can tell you personally, I was a single mom for over 10 years, less than that. But for many years, I was a single mom. And I didn't need anyone to help me get by. I got by on my own. But when I met who is my husband now, we were so symbiotic that we became this, in my mind, this power couple. We're really not, but I'm not a power couple by any stretch. But we are symbiotic, and he had never even been married before. We got married. He got married later in life. I'm a little bit older, obviously, with my age spots. But when we came together, our relationship was so symbiotic that it just inevitably, once we came together, we ended up, my daughter, we just became like this happy, strong family. And my life is so much better now that I have him in my life, being like the leg that I was missing in my happy family. So I can speak to the power of a power couple. When I say power couple, just 2 people that are in it together to win it and to win life. So I think that your way to happiness, one way to happiness, is if you're in a relationship right now that is strong, I'd say foster that relationship. Instead of trying to go out and find something else, foster the relationship and value it as the treasure that it is. But if you're not in a relationship, then I think maybe you need to start looking at that and start looking at how you can get there. So let's I'm gonna ask Spirit, if someone was single and they wanted to find this treasure the symbiotic and then happy family that comes from finding your symbiotic person or your soulmate. Or not even your soulmate, someone that you just really resonate with. How would they do that? Can you give me some guidance on that? Give us some guidance on that? The three of swords, the moon card, and the 8 of wands. I think that you think getting in a relationship is going to be nothing but heartbreak. Or if you're in a relationship and you're thinking of leaving, I think that if you do, you're going to cause 3 hearts to hurt instead of just 1. Because the moon card is overshadowing this card. And this card is a quick energy card. So you need to be careful. You need to be careful. If this is a situation where you're in a relationship and you're thinking of leaving, there's a shadow on that relationship. So be careful about moving too fast, because there's something you're not seeing, or there's something in the shadows that, like, if you do this, you're doing it in the dark. So be careful, because you're not seeing everything. I think you got to be careful. Do not move quickly on that, because there are things that you're not seeing. So like I suggested, I think if you want to find happiness, you need to, if you're in a good, solid relationship and maybe it's boring, maybe you think somebody else is better, don't move quickly on that. Make sure you're making sure that this is really what you want to do, because there are things that you are not seeing. Because you're going to end up hurting more than one person. So back to the single person. So if the single person, sorry about that. If the single person is looking for love, looking for their soulmate or their symbiotic person, so you've got the 7 of Pentacles. That's the answer. You just have to cultivate it. There's no way around it. There's no magic pill. You have to cultivate it. I cultivated it. I found my husband when I was really not wanting a husband. But I did, at that moment in time, I had started cultivating. I had written down actually what I wanted. And when you are specific about it and you put it out into the world, within 2 months, he appeared. I just happened to meet him. I met him online in a game. And we've been together for years now, and we are still as happy today as we were the day we met. So you just have to cultivate it. You have to put it out there, tell the world what you want. First of all, think what you want, and then tell the world what you want. Write it down. Maybe write it down and put it, if you have plants, put it by the plant so that it gets sun. I know that seems dumb, or put it under the moon. If there's a full moon coming, put that under the moon and just put it out there into the world. You would be surprised what you can manifest when you put stuff out there, where you're not just keeping it inside. So if you're single, just cultivate it. And that's one thing you can do to find some happiness. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It was truly a pleasure and a privilege to share this message from Spirit. So take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading today. So I can say you are a brave soul. You have chosen the Tower. You are getting in there and you are going to get this done. You are going to find out what do you need to do to find happiness, even if it means climbing a tower, being struck by lightning. I applaud you, and you must be a brave person. So I applaud that. And here is your soda. Someone addicted to Diet Coke. Again, I applaud you. All right, so let's get started with my goofing around. All right, so my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an oracle card from the Wisdom of Oracle deck. And it says, clean it up. Okay, I think we're done. You just need to clean up your environment. Just kidding. That might be it. But of course, we'll get more cards. But you can see the mess. There's a big old mess here. debris and grass blown up, and his nuts are sprayed everywhere, and there's a big hole, and there are bugs, and I think something in your environment is a mess right now, and it is time to clean it up. So let's get some more cards. I'm going to start with 4. I'm just using the plain old Rider-Waite deck today. Sometimes I like just going to the OG. All right, let's start with these 4. The King of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Star card, bunches of big energies here, and the 2 of Pentacles. So the first thing that I'm struck by is, here is this man who could be juggling 2 coins, right? And instead of just juggling 2 coins, he has a rubber band wrapped around them. So he is making juggling these 2 coins even harder than it has to be. So what is it that you're doing in your life that you're making it harder than it has to be? We have the King of Pentacles here. The King of Pentacles, to me, is like your proverbial stockbroker. That's how I see it. He's a man of means. He's a man of money. He's a man of power. And obviously, someone like this is going to, you don't get that kind of success easily. You probably are, at the end of the day, making life harder on yourself. Like, for example, if he took a job, instead of doing this job where look at all this stuff going on. There is so much stuff in here. I don't know what that is. There's berries, and there's leaves, and there's this wand, and then there's animals, and he's got a big house back here. Looks like he's got a lake, like he's got armor on. This man has so much going on. And it's just hard. He's making it hard. It doesn't have to be this hard. So I went and took a drink, and I paused the video, and while I was gone, I realized that I'm not reading this right. I think what this is trying to tell me is here. I think that it's time to clean up a mess, and it involves 2 people, maybe a man and a woman, both of authority, both strong. Obviously, this female, she's some kind of important person. She's the High Priestess. You have 2 people, 2 influential people in your life, and you are trying to figure out which one is the right person. And when you do finally figure that out, you make that decision, you'll be all cleaned up. Here you are cleaning it up. So maybe we can get some supporting cards. First of all, it'd be nice to know if is this work? Is this 2 bosses? Is this work related? Is this personal related? If you could maybe give us that information, Spirit. The Knight of Cups. Not sure how that plays into it. Let's see here. The Ace of Wands. Yeah, I think like they're saying here, the Knight is a cup of action to me. The Knight of Cups, not as much in action, but still it's a movement in action. So if you stop mulling over this decision and take an action, there will be new growth. You clean this mess up here, you have to take action. It doesn't have to be, it's not the Knight of Swords. You're not cutting anyone's head off, but you do need to take action. And when you do, you'll have this nice pop of new energy and new growth, especially with the wand here. You've got the leaves and the growth. So you've got new growth coming. Let's see if they have any other information here. Yeah, like you are like so over carrying this, and I don't blame you. I hate having to have decisions like that. Another knight, the Knight of Wands. Action, action. Time to take action. So if you want to, what do you need to do to find happiness? You have to stop dragging your feet, clean up this mess. Now, I can't I'm going to draw one card and see if they have a suggestion on how to clean up this mess. But it seems to me they want you to figure out how to clean up the mess. They're telling you you've been carrying this load. You have these 2 action cards and then some new growth once you take care of it. Let me just pull just a couple more cards to see about this here, if we can get any help on this. The Hanged Man. Yep, we know. You're the Hanged Man. You don't want to make a decision, which is causing this Tower moment. It's time to clean it up. Yep. You need to clean it up. This guy is leaving it all behind here. He's just leaving. He's out of here. So maybe that's the decision. Maybe if you can't make a decision between these 2 options, maybe it's because you're not meant to take one of those options. Maybe you are meant to drop the mic and walk out and say, I'm out of here. I'm taking my staff and my fancy boots and I am out. And it's time for my new energy. My decision is I'm not picking any of these. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. That's up to you to decide. Pick one of these 2. But if you cannot figure out which one to pick, maybe it's the 3rd option. Maybe you need to pick a 3rd option. So I wish you the best with that decision. I'm not a great decision maker. I stress about stuff. I want to say thank you for spending this time with me today. It was truly it's truly a pleasure and a privilege to share this message with you from Spirit. So take good care of yourself and good luck with this, and I'll see you next time.